ladies, hope you're having a great day. Today is Monday. Happy Monday morning to you. I hope your morning is going well. Now, I don't like lying, so in reality, it's really Saturday for me, but I'm putting this video on Monday. So usually I do a gather your fragment or my big meal making on a Friday, but the way it worked out this last month is that I did all my food prep. You saw me on Friday, my pre-food prep for the meal prep day, meal making day. And so I didn't want to wait until, in reality, next week, because I film a week later. So it's actually Saturday for me, and I thought, you know what, let me get my meals done. I'll post this video on Monday for you so you don't miss me making my meals for the month. So I hope your Monday is going well. Hopefully this video gets you kind of motivated, get some meal ideas made for the month. Freezer meals help a whole lot. Take it from me, a mama of 10 children. If I was home doing absolutely nothing, but you know, when you're home doing absolutely nothing, you're still home doing a whole lot of stuff. And you can spend an awful lot of time in the kitchen, a lot of time in the kitchen. I can spend hours in the kitchen, especially feeding a lot of children. You can spend hours in the kitchen feeding just a few children. You can spend hours in the kitchen just feeding yourself. So freezer meals come into play because they help make life easier. Do you have to do all your meals freezer? No. Can you make them fresh? Absolutely. But majority of people, I find that, I know people that give me comments like, you need to make fresh meals, you need to do this. I find that those people go out to dinner once or twice a week. They don't eat every single meal at home. Try making every single meal at home all the time, 3 times a day, and then go, need to make them fresh every time. And maybe you do, and maybe people do, and maybe that's their main job. I know people in other countries, they work to make their food. So they will work all day to have a meal for their family. I get that, I understand that. This is just what I'm talking about for my own situation. I found that freezer meals help my life because of what I'm doing. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a businesswoman. My husband has a business. We have 10 kids, we homeschool them. I'm active in my church. I do ministry. There's a whole lot of things in Amy's life that she does. So freezer meals help my life hugely. With all that said, you pick and choose what you want for your family. People ask me, how do you start? Start small. Start with 1 meal and freeze it. You're making tacos, make extra taco meat and freeze it. So then when you have tacos the next week, you just pull it out of the freezer and go, oh, that's when I realized freezer meals were awesome. I remember just freezing a little bit going, wow, I only have to work hard a little bit one day, and then I have like a day, kind of like a day off from cooking. And I was like, I mean, you really don't, you still have to make some food, but in reality it helps. And then go, ooh, I can do that. Well, let me freeze some extra spaghetti sauce, homemade, and then I'm gonna have that and just thaw that. Wow, that was super easy. Or I'm gonna have breakfast is so stressful for me and I'm going to pack cereal. Well, guess what? I'm gonna freeze some meals for breakfast and make breakfast way easier. You just start with 1 or 2 things and then build upon that. I've been doing this for a long time. Been married 25 years. We still have 10 kids. There's still 8. How many at home? 7 at home. So there's still a lot of them at home. So I've been doing this for a long time and realizing this makes my life easier. I love having it. Like last month in October, you saw that I did all freezer meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks. Ugh, greatest thing ever. I didn't have to worry about any food. This month, November, I'm doing something a little bit different. It's kind of like the end of November, but that's the way you're watching the video, but I'm gonna call it my November. I'm doing only like some easier ones because we have the holidays, we have things going on, and then I don't wanna have so much in my freezer because, you know, we got people coming in and all that fun stuff, and the holidays, cookies, all that fun stuff that we get to do. So I'm doing things a little bit different for our family. So I'm gonna read off what I'm gonna make today, because when I go to watch my own videos, I go, what did I make that video? And I tell myself in the beginning. So these are the meals I'm gonna make. So I'm making enough for nachos. I'm gonna say ×2, but it's really for one day because we're having friends over. I'm gonna do 2 sausage, red beans, and rice. I'm gonna do 2 Jared's casserole. Jared. My son Colin works with Jared. So Jared, your casserole is a hit. We love it. Basically, it's a tomato Alfredo sauce with pasta and sausage. Really good. 2 Pesto Tortellini. We made that last month and loved it. So I'm doing 2 of those. I have a ton of meatballs, so I'm gonna do Salisbury steak meatballs with noodles because that's really good. I'm gonna do some chicken for the grill, marinated chicken, really easy. I'm gonna do 1 beef stroganoff, 1 flatbread taco, 2 kielbasa with pierogies. So you don't have to cut that up and do that, but I love having that. The kids really, it's basically sausage and pierogies separate. They love it. And then I'm gonna do 2 spaghetti and meatballs. I probably will not actually mix it up, but that's what I'm gonna have. 2 pizza. We already have the pizza crust, so that's just on my list. We're gonna have 2 haystacks, which I don't have to make that, already done, but the meat I'm preparing. 2 chilies, so we can have chilies. 2 burgers, I don't have to make the burgers, I bought them, but it's on my list. 2 chicken bites with waffle fries, all that good stuff. And then this month we're having Thanksgiving, so we have ham and turkey with all the fixing that way. So those are my meals for the month. I also have extra in the freezer, which is good. Like I bought a huge ham because it was so cheap, and then I have an extra small one that I bought. I'm just gonna save that one. Plenty of food. I filled out my calendar. If you watched last Friday's, you can see my monthly menu plan on that video on Friday on my Thrive calendar, which is nice, and it gives everything for a month, and I have extra. So we'll have plenty. I won't have to shop until middle of December. And then for breakfast, I'm not doing a ton of breakfast foods because I'm gonna kind of focus on like oatmeal, and I bought grits. Never made grits. My kids like grits. They get it from Lauren and Matthew. Matthew, the southern boy, he is. So I'm gonna try that with the kids. Eggs, that kind of thing. But I'm gonna make some bagels with egg and bacon because I have all that bacon, and those were delicious to heat up. I'm going to do English muffins with the sausage because we have a bunch of the sausage from last month. It's basically like a McDonald's breakfast sausage. It was restaurant sausage, so we're gonna have that. I'm gonna do some breakfast burritos because my kids like those, and I'm gonna mix up some yogurt because they love yogurt. And then lunches, I'm not doing a lot of lunches because we always have leftovers. We seem to have leftovers. There's a few times where I'm like, I have nothing, so I'm gonna make some soups. They love chicken Orzo soup, one of their favorite, in a bread bowl. I'm gonna make 2 of those, maybe 3. I might do 3. I might, because they do like that. And then I'm gonna do some potato soup. I might do 2 of those. It just depends on, I just bought a small bag of potatoes because we don't really love potatoes, but I might do that. Sausage vegetable soup, again, I might do 2. I might do a couple of these. I only have 1, but I might do 2. I think I can do that. And then I'm gonna make some poor boy subs. I got bags of sub buns because we love those, making those. You can make those fresh the day of, but again, buy the lunch meat. When you first go shopping, you always eat the good stuff. Then by the end of the month, you're like, peanut butter and jelly. So I'd rather stretch out, have a little peanut butter and jelly, have a really good sub bun in the middle, peanut butter and jelly, and then a good sub bun at the end of the month. So, and then we're gonna make pizza bombs. Brooklyn requested this. She goes, remember when we did all those biscuits with the pizza things? And I'm like, oh yeah. So basically it's a biscuit, fill it with pepperoni and mozzarella cheese, roll it up, freeze it, and then when you go to bake it, you can take it and cover it with like butter and garlic and Parmesan cheese. It's really good. So we are gonna do those today. So it's gonna be a very good day. You saw, it's not gonna take me all day, which is awesome. This is the part of easy prep. You can make it be all day. I have been in the kitchen all day where I cook all day. I can do all those things. This is just gonna be an easier one for the month. That's just what I'm planning. Take some ideas and do them for your family. If you are new to this and you're like, what do I even do? Watch this video. I apologize for the fast talking. I'm a fast talker. I'm a fast moving mama. I don't even have that much coffee. I've had half of this. That's not very much. So I'm just fast talker because I get a lot done because I have to. I have a lot of kids. But watch what I make it and go, oh, that looks like a meal I'd like. Write that one down and then go, okay, I can, and then try the meal before to see if your family likes it, because something my family likes, you might not like. Like we made ravioli lasagna last month. It's not our favorite. Like for some reason, lasagna is not our favorite anymore, and that's okay. I tried it different. I made 2 meals of it. The first one, they're like, oh, it's so good, but I ended up throwing part of it away. This last one I made, they're like, oh, it's the greatest dinner ever, but nobody wanted it anymore. So I'm not making ravioli lasagna anymore. So you have to pick and choose what is good for your family. If you know your family's gonna eat it, then make double and freeze. So watch the video, that's how you do it. Mark down and go, oh, I could do that. And if it's something simple, mark it down and then go, okay, I'm gonna make that. And then plan out doing some freezer meals for yourself. You don't have to do 30, I'm gonna do roughly 30. You do what is good, just do 10. Having 10 extra meals in the freezer is awesome. It helps you not spend money. You don't go out to eat. You don't have to call your husband and say, pick up pizza because I don't want to cook today, because there's already a meal in the freezer to grab out and make. There's no excuse, right? That's the saying in life. It's like there's always an excuse. I'm tired. I'm tired. I get tired. I get tired of making food. Oh, this mama does. I love making food. That's my favorite thing to do, but I do get tired of making food. So having a freezer meal, I don't really have to think. And if I plan and get it out, you can take it out from a frozen state if you want. But if you think about it, a couple days earlier, go, okay, this one I want to have for the next few days. That's what I like to do. And then I take it out of the freezer so it can thaw and then cook evenly. You can take all this food out in a freezer state and cook it. Just cook it at a lower temperature. A lot of people want me to put that in my videos, but the problem is I film every day of my life. The reason why I can't do a collaboration of all the dinners is because I film all day. If you watch me regularly, if you want to, subscribe. I think it's over here. Subscribe. I do a lot of videos on, you know, saving money and what I do for a life and a large family, and just sharing Jesus and just what I do and what makes my life, gives me meaning and purpose, and it's a good thing. I love my life. I love what I do. I love my family, love my husband. It's a good thing. Life is good, and it can be good. I mean, there's times in life right now where it's crazy, and that stuff doesn't get to me because I still know what I'm supposed to do in my life, and it pushes me to do what I do. So all these things. All right, so anyway, subscribe if you want to. No big deal if you don't. I don't care. It helps with YouTube. It helps me and my channel. It helps reach more people. That's what it does. So if you want to. So anyways, people ask me to put like a collaboration of the food together that I make every night, but I don't film that way. I just film a daily vlog. So it would be different. It'd be a lot more work for me to do that. So if you watch every day, you'll see what I actually do for my meals. So, but if you don't want to watch my videos and you just watch these, know that you can take this out from a frozen state. Like when I make pesto tortellini in a pan, you can take it directly from the freezer, but don't cook it on 350 in the oven because it'll get really hard and crusty. So cook it at like a 300 to kind of thaw it out slowly, and then you can kind of take the cover off and cook it harder. Same thing with the beef. Like I'm gonna have, this one is gonna be chili. You can take this out from a frozen state and just put it in the pressure cooker. Just make sure you cook it slower at a temperature. Same thing with breakfast sandwiches. If you take them out frozen from the freezer, maybe microwave them for, you know, a minute and a half, make sure that they're cooked, and then open them up because they'll be a little squishier because, you know, there's more wetness from the freezer. Put them in the air fryer and let them crisp up a little bit. All ways to do these things. So, but try to get them out a couple days in advance or the day before so they thaw. Freezer dinners in a pan take more than a day to thaw in your refrigerator. Usually they take about 2 days. So do that and you'll be good to go. So, all right, enough talking to me. Let's start making our videos. Ready? All right, I pulled out yesterday. I cooked my meat. Remember, it looked green. If you're watching this video going, why does your beef look green? Because I put a whole lot of veggies in there. I think it's called, is it called chorizo? C-H-O-R-I-Z-Z-O, chorizo? I apologize, I need to look this up before. A lot of my people, and I don't even know where they're from, they make it, they chop up a bunch of veggies and they put it in with their food to make it more flavorful and all that. So I do that. I chopped a whole lot in here. There is a ton of spinach, that's why it's green, spinach, and I put kohlrabi, how do you say that? Kohlrabi. It was the rice cauliflower stuff, but the other one, kohlrabi, because I'm never gonna eat that. Carrots and peppers and onions and garlic, and is that it? I think that's all I put in there. It just adds stuff to your meat. And yesterday I was thinking about it. I did 30 pounds of hamburger. Usually when you cook 30 pounds of hamburger, you maybe get 28 because most of it's water and fat. But I was able to get 29 containers. So the veggies, and I poured out some extra veggies, the veggies add a whole extra cup, which doesn't sound like much for 29 pounds, but usually you lose like 2 pounds due to, you know, that. So it just adds more nutrients to it, and nobody notices the difference. My kids, they just, I mean, if they see it's green, they notice the difference, but if you mix it in with some sauces and spices, you don't notice the color at all. So it's just green meat, Amy. But anyway, so yesterday I took all my meat containers, put them in little containers or bags, and froze them. So what I did is I rationed out, instead of putting it in a big bowl and making 2 messes, I wrote in here what I'm going to put in here. So this is going to be beef stroganoff. I have one for chili and all that. So I'm going to start with those meals first. Or am I? Actually, I should do I'll do the meat ones first. And so I'll figure out what I'm going to add to these to finish up the meal. I'm not going to put everything in here, and the reason being is because I have it. Usually I get huge cans of beans, things like that. Well, this month I didn't necessarily get, like this one's a big can, but usually I get the big giant one, so I don't want to freeze that and then have to add it. So some of it I'll put together, but like my chili has pinto beans. I have small cans. I don't have to put these in the bag. You can and make a complete meal in a bag. I'm just not going to do that. I'll just add a few things to it to get a few things in there, but majority I might add at the end, and I'll tell you that. So all right, let's get going with that. Stop talking and start making food. People are here to watch the food. All right, let's start making food. All right, for the first easy dish ever, we're having nachos. So I am just gonna I have 4 pounds of meat in here. I usually use the big giant containers of taco seasoning, but Walmart did not have any in stock, so I ended up getting a bunch of little ones. So I'm actually gonna put this in here. The reason why I'm putting the taco seasoning in the bag is because when I make a meal, if I go through the month and go, oh, let's just have tacos tonight, well then I'm gonna go to make a meal and there's gonna be no taco seasoning. That's just what's gonna happen, especially if I'm limited on my taco seasoning. So I know this weekend we're having nachos. I just put that in there, so I have that. we are also gonna have haystacks throughout the month. So I'm having 2 for that, and then I have 1 extra one, it looks like, for my meal. So that's okay, we'll keep 1 extra. I should have had 1 extra one, but it works. We're also gonna do flatbread tacos. That's a meal. This is a really easy meal, and all you do is take biscuits, like a Pillsbury biscuit, and roll it out and cook it on a skillet for a griddle. And then it's so good, and it makes like a flatbread. Like you roll them out pretty big. My girls do them really big. I just do them smaller because I just like to do them quicker. And you cook them, fry them up, and then you take like a mixture. You can do sour cream and ranch powder, spread a thin layer, put your taco meat with beans, which I'm gonna add here, on top of that, and then top it with lettuce and cheese. This is so good. It's one of my kids' favorite. We're actually having that this month. So this is flatbread taco. It's got meat and the taco seasoning in it, and then I'm opening up my can of pinto beans. You can add chili beans. I'm gonna do pinto beans because we have enough taco seasoning that in there. And drain out some of that liquid. And then I'm just gonna add that to my bag, and then boom, that dinner's done. See how easy this is? This works out so quick. Don't lose your beans down the thing. So let me add this in here. All right, so for 2 pounds of ground beef, I'm gonna add 2 small cans of pinto beans to it. You can add chili beans to it. It just makes it a little bit more gushy. I'm gonna say liquidy. We don't want liquid. Just so it spreads nice on the taco meat. So this is gonna be perfect. This is the favorite meal. Favorite meal of the family. You can see us making flatbread tacos. So then that's it. Again, I added the cans. You don't have to do any of this, but it's all in here, and I won't use those pinto beans for something else, because that's what happens in our family, is that I'll start making something and I'll be like, I don't have any pinto beans, or why? Oh, I ate those. I mean, you know, because pinto beans are like something kids love, but they might, you never know. So, all right, let's make another one. All right, next thing I'm gonna do is chili. Chili is super simple. You can throw it in all at one time. The reason why I'm not is, again, because it'll disappear in my pantry or my cupboard. So for my chili, we make a taco chili. 10-kid taco chili. I make it every year for our chili competition in our town. I got first runner up last year, year before, I think it was last year. So I make the same one. It doesn't matter, I'm never gonna change the recipe. So you add a packet of taco seasoning, you add a packet of ranch. I have it in a big container here, so I'm gonna add this. And then I'm going to add to mine, I do green chilies. I was able to get this for $1 versus the tiny one. So I'm gonna split this up and probably do like 1/3 of the can for each one, and then save, I don't know, I'll put this in something else. And then you need like a tomatoey base. So this is tomato paste. I'm gonna put a couple blobs in there. And then I'm gonna take this diced tomato, chop it in half, because we don't really love tomatoes in there, and split 2 and 2 for each one. We're gonna add pinto beans to 1 bag, pinto beans the other bag, again, because this is all I have and I don't want it to disappear. And then I found that I have kidney beans, old cans in my, not old cans, they're just, I need to use them up. So I'm gonna put those in there so I don't forget. And corn is something that disappears in my house, so I'm gonna put a can in each one. And then the only thing I'll add to it when I make it is chili beans. And I'll add one of these big cans to it. I'll add that when I do it, because these are fine. I don't think we're gonna eat too many chili beans up. So let's put those together. This super simple taco chili. You can also put it over rice. I had all the toppings. I like to put Fritos on it, cheese and lettuce, sour cream, basically like a taco chili, and they love it. All right, so I've got these ones all done, the meat ones. I wrote on my taco packet haystacks, and I wrote on the cans of beans in my cupboard for chili. I did 1 for each one. If you're gonna have a lot of people and you need to feed a lot of people, chili is a great way to stretch. You can add so many beans to that. A little bit of tomato paste, it'll stretch it as much as you can. Make it watery or thicker, however you want. So these are done. I'm gonna put them in my freezer just because they're ready, and then I'll start on my beef stroganoff. All right, the next one I'm gonna make is super simple. This is beef stroganoff. So what I'm gonna do, take my earbud out here so I can hear you. Because I need to hear you. I have in here 2 pounds of ground beef. Now for our beef stroganoff, I like to add beef broth. This is, you can get this for $5 at Walmart. They have a Hispanic section. In your regular bouillon section, it's not there. You'll pay $5 for a tiny one of the Knorr. This is only $5. People say the better than bouillon is better. Those are good, but I find that I always use way more of it. This is fine. If you want to save some money, right here. Pour that in there. You can always add more. I don't know, I'm gonna say quarter cups. That sounds like a lot. I'll make a lot of this though. And then what I would do is, I make my own cream mushroom soup. I'm actually gonna make some today, but I don't even need to, but I will because I have mushrooms. This is from last month. I had a whole lot of extra, so I'm just gonna pour this in here. This was frozen. It tastes fine. Homemade cream mushroom soup. I'll make some today because I have the mushrooms just to freeze it. It's not gonna, if you want it to be super smooth, to make it as a soup to eat, you can freeze it, but when you go to reheat it up, use like a blender or an immersion blender to kind of, you know, get, because it's going to be chunky a little bit, because, you know, that's just the natural consistency of the stuff wanting to separate. But it is so good. And then in my freezer last month, I had a bunch of mushrooms and onions, and I chopped them up and fried them and cooked them for burgers, and we never ate them. What's wrong with us? What is wrong with you people? So I have, it smells like steak, mushrooms and onions. So I just pureed these up because like I was gonna just put them in the soup, but I think I'm gonna add it to this, which is gonna make it taste really, really good. Nothing wrong with extra good flavor. So I'm just gonna put that in my bag as well. Oh yeah. Now, so that's it. That's all I'm gonna put in here. What else can you add in here, Amy? You could chop those too if you want them. We like, my kids don't like pieces of things. They're like, what is that? But that will make it so good. So when I go to make this, you can put your sour cream in here. If I had a big container of sour cream and I was worried about it going bad, I would put it in here. The key is you got to kind of mix it in with your soup and a little bit of your meat. Otherwise, it is going to get a little chunky, and you're going to try to mix it up in your, you know, when you heat it up, but it's going to be hard when you got pieces of meat in there. So if you put the sour cream in here, you can freeze it. Just kind of knead your bag to make it mix in better. So I'm not going to do that because I have smaller ones this month I got. That was how I got my grocery pickup. So I'm not worried about eating too much sour cream because we haven't really had that much sour cream, which is good. I will, I will write on one just to put 4 beef stroganoff so that we don't eat all of it up. And that's it. So I'm down another meal, which is great. So I keep crossing them off when I get them done. Let me put this in the freezer. All right, so what I'm gonna do next is I've been marking things that I need. So like this one, because things disappear and I don't have a ton of stuff, which is good, but somebody will eat it and not have it. So what I did is spaghetti. We'll use 2 of these. What I did is I marked these. 2 of these are for spaghetti. So that way, if anybody goes to grab these on the cupboard, they go, oh, spaghetti. And then pizza sauce. We just use spaghetti sauce, pizza, because I have 2 pizza crusts. Actually, I have 4 pizza crusts in the freezer from last month. There might be just 2. Is there 2? I think there's 4. Hopefully there's 4. I'll have to look. Pizza crust, so that nobody eats that stuff. That's going in my cupboard. What I'm gonna do next is chop up my sausage. I have 2 kinds of sausage. I found this, and then I have this in my freezer, Georgia smoked sausage from Sam's Club. This is a little bit, it's mild, it's a little spicier, not terrible, it's just a little bit more. So I'm gonna chop this up to mix it all together and then divvy it up according to my meals, just because so we don't get all of just one kind. So I'm gonna put it in a big bowl, chop it up, and we'll add it to our next meal. All right, so I looked at my stuff and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I have to have enough for sausage and pierogies too. So I was gonna make the sausage soup. I'm gonna see if there's any left. If not, I bought chicken meatballs. I would put that in the soup as well, but we're gonna see. I wanna make sure there's enough, you know, sausage for the other meals. I'm gonna kind of mix this up a little bit. And then I'll do the sausage pierogies first, which is super simple, and then I'll do the other ones to kind of ration out the sausage. Usually I'm able to get a lot of sausage for cheap. I just didn't this month. That's okay, that's okay. So when you can't, you just stretch it out. A key is to cut that sausage. I didn't cut it very thin, but cut it really thin. If you've got to ration out your meat and your sausage, things like that, cut it like really thin. And then at least, or you can even cut it in like half, the little round things in half, or even in quarters, and that just stretches. It stretches, you can stretch everything and add more of a base to it. So let me put this, wash my hands real fast. right, so sausage and pierogies is so simple. Do you have to put this in a pan? No, you don't. You can leave it. But again, I'm stretching my stuff. So I'm going to put the bottom of a tinfoil pan because this is it. Like this right here will feed all of us. Some of you might not think it does, but it does. I'll put a little layer of sausage on the bottom and 2 boxes on top on each one. Freeze it. Take it out, put it in the oven with the tinfoil on for 350 till it's all cooked and the sausage is good. And then take the lid off and just let it crunch up a little bit. This is like a favorite simple easy meal. You can keep it separate. You can make it that day. This just ensures that we have, because someone might go, oh, there's pierogies. I'm going to make those as a snack. So you got to prehand and prepare. So I'm going to put some in the bottom here, and then we'll set on top, and that's it. All right, I rationed out my sausage because I wanted to know how much I have. So I decided not to put in the soup because I was like, that's not very much sausage. Like, that's fine, you do what you can do. So, all right, let's have the pierogies on top. All right, so I'm gonna do Jared's casserole. Jared's casserole is super simple. I'm just gonna add to it a little bit of my veggie mixture here. This delicious thing, and then I'm going to add, this is a great can opener, by the way. Whoever got this, I already know who did because the video posted. Swing away can opener, awesome. Oh yeah, great little can opener. So I'm going to add, for Jared's casserole, it's going to be, I kind of probably do it different every single time. It's a jar of Alfredo, and I'm going to put diced tomatoes and a little bit of tomato paste, just a little bit, and then usually you add green peppers and onions. I'm just going to add my veggie mixture to it, and that's it, and that's delicious. You cook it, and then make it with bow tie pasta. So just heat this up with the sausage, and bow tie pasta is a really easy dish. Thank you, Jared, for your inspiration. All right, Jared casserole, super simple. The other one is going to be sausage, red beans, and rice. A little bit of sausage there, so I'm going to add my chili beans, tomato paste, a little bit of diced tomato, and the veggie mixture, and a little bit of the green chili thing that I have left. All right, so those are done now. Now, if I need to stretch this more, I can very well add more beans to this. I have black beans in the freezer. Any kind of beans will be good for this. I'm just thinking, I'm like, we always have a ton of this left over, so I'm trying to downsize. I'm thinking 1 bag will be plenty for our family. This, you're supposed to use red beans too, but I use those up in the chili because I forgot that I had this, so no big deal. All right, another batch done. All right, the next one I'm gonna do is spaghetti and meatballs. Super simple to make. You can make and use your favorite spaghetti sauce. You don't have to mix this up. You can just get jar sauce. I have these huge bags of meatballs. These are so good. I need more scissors. Give me a few seconds. I gotta wash these dishes. All right, so I cleaned up so I can find my scissors on the bottom of the sink. So these meatballs are so delicious. Oh my goodness. Like, they are really good quality meat. Like, you know, sometimes you get the cheesy ones and you know they're not like super good. These, hold on 1 second. Okay, I have one of those bag holders. Everyone's like, use a bag holder. I hate those bag holders. I do not like them. So I'm splitting, like this is plenty of meatballs for us. I'm gonna make a pot for tonight and one for the freezer. That's how you do it. So I have, this is spaghetti sauce. I'm just gonna throw that in there because it was frozen. I'm gonna try not to freeze any just by itself because it gets lost in the freezer. But I have a huge, a big can here. So I'm gonna split this between the two. I'm gonna add some extra spices to it, extra vegetables. That's how you soup up your stuff. I add basil and oregano, and garlic. Add that to it. Whatever else you want to add to your onions, but I have the veggie mixture. So I'm just going to do 2 of these, put one in the freezer, one on the stove for dinner tonight. Very easy. Easy, done. I'm gonna heat this one up on the stove. If you need to stretch, if you go, oh, that's not much sauce, add some water to it. Add tomato paste if you need more of a tomato We need to stretch it more, make it more watery, but this will be fine. A whole bag feeds our family. The next one I'm gonna make is Pesto Tortellini. This is something we love. I started making it last month new. Didn't know how everybody would feel about it. They love it. It is so good. I just got the big package from Sam's Club, and then I got a jar of Prego basil pesto. I got some at the discount store, so I use that. So basically you mix 2 of these and about half a jar of this. I'm gonna add my veggie mixture to it, and that's gonna be my liquid. And then in the bottom of the pan, you sprinkle chicken, which I have all my shredded chicken from yesterday, so that's gonna go in the bottom. I'm just trying to remember that. And she put mozzarella cheese in it. I'm not gonna do that. I have Asagio cheese. Is that how you say it? Asagio? Like, look at $13 for humongous Asagio. So I'm gonna sprinkle this in it, and probably just on top of it, it'll be easier. But it makes such good. This is our favorite, probably our new favorite. They love this when I had it. So let's mix this up. Something I love doing, cutting my head off, is chicken on the smoker. It tastes so good. I love the smoker, using the smoker to cook chicken. I like grilling it too. I like cooking in the pan. The smoker I think is awesome. So all I'm gonna do is take my chicken right here, put it in a bag, right here, Italian dressing. That's the greatest seasoning you ever need, is a bottle of this. This will make it super tender. You can do this with steak, veggies, anything. I am also gonna add this greatest stuff, the Hidden Valley herbs and seasoning, because it's that good. And then I probably won't do the vegetables, just that in here. So I'm gonna split this. I was just gonna do 2, but I'm gonna do 3. So I'm gonna ration these out between 3 bags, because we'll have chicken. We'll grill it and we can have it on salad or with sides and all that. So I'm just gonna pour these in the bags and then mix the stuff in and put the chicken in, it's done. All right, I'm going to my list. The next thing I'm gonna do is Salisbury steak meatballs, just because I have the meatballs. You can do hamburger patties, whatever you wanna do. I was gonna do cream and mushroom soup, but I think I'm gonna avoid that so that Jaden can have this dish. So I'm gonna basically do like a beef broth and put some onions. I'm gonna chop up, put them in the food processor, so they're really tiny onions. And then make like a ketchup, mustard, and Worcestershire, a little bit of garlic base. Taste it, and if I go, okay, that's good, and then I'll put it with the meatballs. And then when I go to cook it, last time I just cooked it in the pressure cooker and we had it over noodles and it was fine. You can thicken some cornstarch and water to add a little bit thickener and do that, but I think I'm just gonna leave the mushroom part out so that she can have that. So I'm gonna chop up the onions first, and then I'm gonna do the mixture all in the bowl and taste it, make sure it tastes good, and then put it in bags. Kids don't like chunky things, puree your onions really tiny. My kids don't mind them, but it's nicer to have them all tiny. I added water and beef broth. I just added that in there to help the onions cook. I saw a couple chunks that were not wanting to, you know, get small. It looks like applesauce, but I just added, buy beef stock in a container. I just always buy this. I don't know, maybe one day I'll switch over. I've never bought beef or chicken broth. My grandma's brought it down, I've used it, but I've never actually used it. So this is mixed, lots of onions, lots of beef. I'm gonna add all my stuff to it. I even have a package of the onion soup mix. I'm gonna put that in there because, you know, I don't want to mistake that for soup anymore like I did the other night. That's in there. We're gonna stir it and taste it. All right, that's a little hot. the onions a little too much, and not a bad thing. So I'm gonna make it real thick here with concentrate. I decided to break it up into 3 bags because there's plenty. So what I'll do when I make it is add more water, and if I want to thicken it, I'll add cornstarch. So I'm gonna break up my meatballs here. I'm not gonna use all these because some of these are souped up. Half of the bag is probably too much. So I'll do like a little, like a third of a bag maybe. Let's see. Let me fill up and see what I got. Almost half, but not quite. Because that's a lot of meatballs in here. So let me do that, and then I'll divvy this up between the 3 bags. All my dinner meals are finished. I'm going through. I did the nacho meat, sausage, red beans and rice, the Jared's casserole, pesto tortellini, Salisbury steak meatballs. We have an extra one of those. Chicken for the grill, an extra one of those. Beef stroganoff, which is good. Flatbread tacos, kielbasa with pierogies, spaghetti and meatballs, got one going. Pizza sauce, basically pizza sauce, which I have jars and pizza crust in my freezer. That's from 3 months ago. That'll be good. Haystacks, enough for a haystack meal, 2 for chili, 2 meals worth of burgers, which I don't have to do anything because that's all done. I just have to cook the food, obviously, make mac and cheese. And I have chicken bites with waffle fries. That's an easy, already made it. And we've got our Thanksgiving dinners. So dinners are done, which makes me happy. So now I move over to breakfast and lunches. I'll probably do my lunches first. Well, maybe breakfast, we'll see. The kids are getting up, so I'm frying up some eggs over here. Maddie wants some dippy eggs. I'm gonna do that. I'll probably do the lunch stuff so I can get this chicken and stuff out of here. So I'm gonna go make eggs for her first. And we have bacon pulled out, which is good, so we'll have a good breakfast. All right, I started about 7:30 this morning, so it's about 9:30. So I'm taking a break for breakfast. So I put some, look at that, egg, sausage, and Texas toast. Oh, the plate is really hot. Ouch. So I'm gonna have that for breakfast. Maddie wanted some dippy eggs. I'm like, I can do that. So then I thought, I'm gonna pull up that Texas toast white bread. Oh, so good. Put it in the air fryer, put some bacon, put some Asagio cheese. Yes, people, that is breakfast for me. Let me take a break and eat. All right, that was delicious. Had that, a little bit of applesauce. I feel ready to go for the rest of the day here. It's only morning, it's like 9:30 right now. So I'm gonna make my, it's supposed to be sausage vegetable soup, but I'm gonna do the meatballs because you just need some kind of meat in there. It's really simple. I chopped up the meatballs as best as I wanted to do, and then what I add to it is just vegetables. Whatever you have, it's like a gather your fragment soup. I'm gonna put the meatballs in, split these between the 2, put some of this veggie puree in there. I'm also gonna get some frozen spinach, chop some up, put that in there because that's really good. And then I have mixed vegetables right here. Put it in it. It's easy, it's delicious, it's a simple soup. Everybody, and oh, I need tomatoes. Let me get diced tomatoes. Yes, everybody likes this. It's a really easy meal. Just like I was surprised. I'm like, you guys like that soup? Because I would never picture them to like something like that. So easy. And I put some chicken bouillon in there. You can add liquid and just cook it on the stove. All right, so I saw how much chicken I left. I'm gonna make up 4 little bags of chicken Orzo soup. This is soup, it's basically chicken soup. So I'm gonna have chicken in there, put some chicken bouillon in there, garlic, the rest of this in here. And then I'm gonna cut up a carrot, like 1 carrot per bag. And then when I go to cook it, I will just put it with water and we'll add Orzo pasta, a little box of Orzo pasta, about half a box for that. And that's delicious. They put it in bread bowls. My kids absolutely love that. It's a simple soup they love. All right, next I'm gonna do is potato bacon chowder. I have a small bag of potatoes. I'm just gonna chop those out. See how many I have. I might do 2 bags. Let me see, 3. What am I doing? I think I can do 2 separate ones. We just won't do huge things of soup, which is fine. So on your bag, write down pot bacon chowder. Basically what I'm gonna add to this is gonna be sour cream, mashed potatoes, and a little bit of milk. That'll be really easy. If you have chicken, canned chicken, like cream of chicken soup, you can add that, but I won't. This will be fine this way. So potato, bacon, chowder. I'm gonna put potatoes chopped up. I'm just gonna dice them and leave them raw. What happened is we had this when the power went out, and the potatoes, I had fresh potatoes in the freezer, and I went to cook, and it just was like, took forever to cook, and it burned before I was able to cook it on our stove. So maybe cook your potatoes first, which I think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna boil mine just to make it almost done, so that way when I go to reheat it, it doesn't have to reheat that long. So I'm just gonna chop these up, just boil these in a pot of water on the stove, and then put everything together in a bag. All right, so that's all I'm gonna do to this soup. I just put bacon in there, chicken broth and onions. What I'll do then when I go to make it, the potatoes will be in there, we'll boil it, and then we'll add a little bit of milk, and we'll add sour cream and the instant mashed potatoes. That's easy. All right, I'm gonna clean up here. What do? We're gonna do pizza bombs next. Pizza bombs, those are delicious. Let's do those. All right, you know when you make something, you're like, how did I make this last time? So I'm gonna make pizza bombs. These are so good. Basically, it's a biscuit, and you put pepperoni, which I have all this pepperoni from the restaurant, and string cheese. I'm gonna chop it up. I'm gonna flatten a biscuit inside of a cupcake liner, and then I'm gonna put all that stuff in the middle and kind of squish over the top, push it down. I'm gonna put it in my freezer and freeze them solid. Then when I go to make them, so I'll freeze them solid, then I'll put them in plastic bags. When I go to make them, I can put them either back in here or on a cookie sheet, and then put some melted butter and like garlic and all the good toppings and Parmesan cheese, Italian seasoning. Is so good. So this will be an easy way to do this. All right, this is a little bit of a trial and error. I'm seeing if it's better to squish them in the pan or just do it in my hands, and then put them back in there. Cheese, I remember I had to open up a bunch of these last time, and I'm like, I hate pulling apart string cheese. I'm like, what was the easiest? And I feel like I snipped the ends last time and just pushed them out, but that, I don't know if that's happening very good with this method. So give me a few minutes here to figure out which is the best method. String cheese is so hard to get out. Squeezing is okay, it's just not quick. Like last time it pulled out really easy. Let me just see pulling apart if that's easy. All right, is there an easy way to do this? Absolutely not. Just however best you do it. So I'm gonna cut my cheese in thirds, use my scissors. Wash them off, cut it in 3 pieces, and then you're gonna put like maybe 2 pepperonis and a chunk of cheese, and then wrap the biscuit around it. I don't know if it's gonna be easy to push it in the pan. I'm more like wrap and hurry and get it in there, so I think I'll just wrap it and push it down and put it in my pan and then let it freeze solid. These will be delicious. All right, let's start making these. I got sausage over here cooking for breakfast burritos, and the potatoes too. All right, that is super simple. Don't push them in the muffin tins. Don't even waste your time. See, it's trial and error. When you watch these videos and people do them perfectly, it's because they did it before they started filming. I'm gonna do it while I'm doing it. So just basically put that in there and just roll it all up. Just seal it, because that's what, when it goes to bake, you don't want it separating. So this is perfect. These are great for holidays. We just like to eat them with marinara sauce and They're so good. So just a delicious. I just like making the stuffed biscuits with egg and sausage gravy, things like that. All good things. So I'm just gonna almost done here and put them in your freezer right away and check on them. Make sure they're not like getting too fluffy. Sometimes like I know bread that you like bread dough. Sometimes when you want to freeze it, it wants to keep rising, especially if your freezer is a little bit warmer. So cool. This pan's done. I'm gonna get one more pan because I've got 16 more to do. I'll just get a smaller one. Okay, I dreaded doing these. These are probably the easiest. This was the easiest, just put them together. All right, one more. Let's go stick these in the freezer. Delish. All right, so we are moving and getting things done. Potatoes, oops. Potatoes are almost done. Let's take the lid off that. Potatoes are almost done, and then I'll rinse them off and cool them and then put them in the bags. I'm gonna do, and the sausage is done, I'm gonna mix up for English muffin sandwiches. The only other lunch I'm gonna do is poor boy subs. I am saving that for the girls. They're gonna help do that, and that's fine. It's just the mixture. I'll show you all that when we do it, but I'm gonna start doing breakfast sandwiches. So I have this. This is restaurant. This is like McDonald's sausage breakfast sausage patty. Exactly. It tastes like McDonald's. It could be somebody else's, I don't know, but it's the same patty you get. I got a huge bag of this not this time. Woo. Gross, way too starchy in the potatoes. I'm gonna rinse those for sure. So I'm gonna put English muffin, cut it in half, put one of these on there and a piece of egg and cheese, and then that's gonna be a really good breakfast sandwich. We made it last time. So I'm gonna scramble up some eggs. There's 24 muffins, so I'll probably do like 20 eggs, a little bit of water, milk, water, make it fluffier. Milk, I'm trying to think. Water makes it fluffier, yes. And then put it on a big cookie sheet that I'm gonna spray, let it bake for about a half hour in the oven. If you can do 350, then you can do it for about a half hour. If you have little ones you gotta take care of, you can't get to the oven because you burn things, and I get you. I would do 325, just go back and check it if you need it done like right away because you're trying to hurry up because you know you have life and kids. Put it on 400, but watch it. This is great. You can also just cook the eggs like in little muffin tins, and then put those on there. When you reheat the ones that are like with the yolk separate from the white, it does have a little bit of texture difference, not terrible. I like them that way. My kids just like them like you would get at McDonald's. So that's what this is. So that's what we're doing. I'm just gonna put them in there. It's gonna be delicious. Oh, how do I, let me get my camera. How do you reheat these? I take them out of the, so sorry, hold yourself, baby. How I reheat these is I will wrap them all individually in wax paper. I'll take this bag out probably a day before we eat them, and if I don't, if I take them out the day before, 2 days, and leave them in the refrigerator, microwave for 1:30. They're delicious. You can put them in the air fryer, make them crispy, separate the two halves, let them cook in the air fryer, or take them out frozen and just cook them longer in the microwave. That's how it works. Or the oven, or on a stove, on the pan, however you can do it. All right, I added 28 eggs because there was only a few more eggs there. I'm gonna be making bagels, so I'll do this too. Put your pan in the oven first and pour your eggs in there, because before I had to carry it the first time I did it, and I was like, that was a mistake. So pour it yourself over here. All right, so if you like your eggs creamier, add milk. If you like them fluffier, add water. I might actually do some shredded cheese in there. I might do that instead of using the cheese slices. I very well might do that. I'm just have to check if Jaden wants any without. I don't think she likes muffins, she likes bagels. I'm gonna find out. But I think I'll just put some shredded cheese. I'll let it cook for a few minutes and then I'll add that in there. I think my potatoes are gonna be done. Let's check those. All right, potatoes are good. I'm gonna rinse them off so that they can cool down and I can put them in my bags. Don't mind the big giant dishes mess. I'm cleaning as I go. All right, my potatoes are cool. I'm gonna pour these into here, put a little liquid, freeze it, soup is done. You want your potatoes to not just color, add liquid like that to it. Put these in the freezers. I'm gonna check my eggs, probably add cheese. All right, so I'm gonna get another batch of eggs going because I'm gonna be doing bagels and I have to do some on the stove, like scrambled to have with breakfast burritos. So, use a knife and that's Amy. So I'm just gonna crack a bunch of eggs in here. I'll let you know how many I do. I'll kind of plan, I gotta figure out, let me see how many bagels I have. All right, so we've got 36 bagels, so I am gonna do at least 36 eggs. There's 30 on a flat, so, oh yeah. All right, we'll be doing plenty. Was not the way to do it, but it worked. Maybe, I'm afraid if you stir it into your egg mixture, it's gonna all go to the bottom when you pour it, but that'll work. Then I have to add cheese to it, which is perfect. So I'm gonna do the rest of these eggs in here, and then I'm gonna cook those in the stove for breakfast bagels. Breakfast bagels, breakfast burritos. All right, the breakfast sandwiches were really good. Having that cheese mixed in is really good. So some got a little bit thinner, some got thicker, but that just makes it a whole lot cheesier. So this is done. The girl's gonna wrap those up and put them back in the same thing, and then I'm gonna start kind of put the bagels and doing the same thing. We're gonna put bacon on those. All right, want to make sure nobody's chipped on the bacon. So plenty of bacon on here. I'm gonna check the eggs in the oven, and these ones are cooking over here too. All right, cut into that a little gooey. Let's keep cooking that. All right, so I totally miscalculated and did not do enough eggs for the bagels, so I have to do like 8 more. So I'm just gonna put them in this tiny little pan. I'm just gonna whip them in here and whisk them and bake them. There you go. Alright, so we're getting done. Jaden is wrapping up. I'll show you what she did for the English muffin sandwiches. The bagels we're cooking. We're going to do breakfast burritos. Next, I'm going to take these, but first, I'm going to take these eggs here, these leftovers, and hard boil some eggs in my pressure cooker. Real simple, put them in here, do like a cup of water, and set it on your beans chili setting, which is a high, and it goes for like 5 minutes. Not high, on low. You put the bean chili setting, it's on low for 6 minutes. Real simple, if not, just adjust it to 6 minutes on low. So I cooked the rest. I had a little bit of bacon in the freezer, and it was kind of like the raw kind where you want to cook it again. Just squish, not the gushy kind, what's it called, rubbery kind. So I just took the remainder that I had, put it in my air fryer, crisp it up. I'm gonna chop this up, put it in a container. It's gonna be like bacon bits or anything we need to add it to, like eggs or whatever for breakfast. Just do one little. All right, Jaden wrapped the bagels all up. They're back in their package, wrapped up with wax paper. Next I'm gonna do is be poor boy subs. I just took sub buns that I got from like a hoagie bun, and then I took 1 package of cream cheese, half a stick of butter, some garlic. I just had minced garlic. I didn't have fresh stuff, so I used the dried stuff, and mustard. Mix this up, spread it on the bun, put some ham, salami, and cheese. You can eat these, they're delicious. Heat it up, it's delicious. It freezes really well. It's one of our favorite sandwiches. Alright, I doubled this because I realized Jen has a lot of buns up here cut up. So I did like 2 packages of cream cheese and about 3/4 of a stick of butter. The more butter, when you cook it in the oven, heat up, it just melts better. And then put a good, you want it like a nice yellowy color. So blob of mustard and the garlic. So spread this real thin, put your meat on it, it's delicious. We usually get the $1, like Italian loaves, the everything bread from Walmart, like the $1 ones. And then you can make a big giant one and then wrap it in tin foil. Cook in the oven just so it's kind of soft and crispy, and then chop that up and slice it. That can feed a crowd for really cheap on sandwiches. We're just gonna do individual ones, wrap them up in wax paper, put them in the freezer, and then when we wanna have them, we'll take them out, we put them in the air fryer, microwave, or wherever, and they're a really good sandwich. All right, the remainder eggs came out, so we just cut these up and put them on. All right, we're getting stuff done. I just heated this up. This was, I just turned to make sure it was cooked. This was the stromboli that we made last month for lunch. I just heated it. I just wanted to flip it, make sure it's good. This is done. I've got my spaghetti and meatballs in here. This will be delicious for dinner. I'm gonna leave this out and butter this up for a garlicky toast for dinner. Self-cleaning my oven because I spilled stuff in the bottom for spaghetti. Now the freezers are kind of packed until we get some room in here. Because everything, like there is burritos in there, they need to freeze. Then we'll move everything. Jaden is gonna wrap these sandwiches up, and she's over here making, this is what she does. She puts a blob of that on. She does it oh so well, perfection. If I was not here, she would do like, she would make like curly cute designs. Oh look, she even cut that, look at that. That right there, she works in this, can you tell she works in a sandwich shop? Or for catering. Jaden, the pressure's on to make the sandwich perfect. Perfect, look at that. Sandwich and ham, and then we're gonna wrap them up, and she's actually wrapping. Oh look at that, oh I missed that. She rolled it up 3 times. Yeah, look at that. Perfect. And then she grabs a piece of this, whoosh, lays it down. Look at that. Flip it up, rolling. Shove it into the bag we go. Look at that. Looking good. We got some Christmas presents, which was awesome. Toilet paper, another toilet paper. I got a lot of toilet paper this time because we were way out. This is from Sam's Club. It's I think it's 80 rolls. It's $50. I think it's 80. Look at Sam's Club, your app. Let me see. Oh, it has, I think it's 80 rolls. Yeah, 80 rolls of toilet paper, and it's like you get $10 off. So, and they'll ship it to your house. You can't even pick it up in the store for $53. Yeah, it's definitely like, let me show you. It's not going to be Cottonelle, like, you know, smushy toilet paper. It's not going to be squishy toilet paper, but look at it. It's still, it's Scott's. See how it's thinner? I'm okay with thinner, like, because it does better for our septic and for, you know, kids ruining it. So it's, see how thin it is? That's 1 ply. There's 2. But that's gonna work, that works. So for out that many rolls for $50, oh yeah, I'm not gonna open that freezer, but there it is jam-packed full of stuff waiting to freeze solid. So the last thing I'm gonna do, we're cleaning up, getting our chores done. You can't see I open the door because it smells with the oven burning off right now, is do some eggs. I hard boiled some eggs, so I'm just gonna peel those real quick. I pulled this out of the freezer too. These are our breakfast sandwich cookies. They're really good. Made these a long time ago. Nice and soft and delicious and hearty. So that's there, and then the freezer meals are done. So let's do some eggs. All right, I'm gonna go step outside here. It's good. I got all of our food done for the day, which is awesome. So it's really Saturday, I told you, not Sunday or Monday, but I'm gonna pretend it's Monday for you guys. So all my food is done now for the month that I want to do. I have 30 plus dinners, probably 35 dinners in there, and then there's plenty of extra if I have to in my freezer, which is good. Prepared, ready to pull out and just do. You'll see me prepare them every single day of the week if you watch every single day. So just watch my channel every day and you'll see what we're gonna eat. Today we're having the spaghetti and meatballs, and I'm gonna take that Texas toast, put some butter on it and garlic and Parmesan, maybe the Asagio cheese. That sounds really good. On top, make a salad because we have salad material, and the only thing I didn't do is cream of mushroom soup, but I didn't need to, so we'll just chop those mushrooms up and have them with salad. So I'm gonna be done. It's early afternoon. I'm gonna be finished up for my day. I have plenty of other stuff that I want to get done today besides cooking in the kitchen. So I thank you guys for watching. Hopefully today give you some ideas of things to do, some tips. Freezer meals, it helps your life. Trust me, you want to help your life, you got no time, make yourself some freezer meals. That's your biggest complaint is, I have no time to spend time with my kids. I have no time to do this. I have no time to do what I want. Make some freezer meals and I bet you'll find some time. So, all right, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow. All right, have a great rest of your day. Bye.
We got this.